see it all the time. What does that mean? That means, okay, your Medicare card, your Humana card, your Blue Cross card, it's not going to pay to get you where you deserve to be. Okay, so you've got to be okay with investing in yourself. All right, some other info. 90% of all diseases prevalent today are not treatable with orthodox medical procedures. So that means 10% of what we're doing in our healthcare system actually has hard science behind it. Okay, 90% doesn't. Okay, that's straight from the World Health Organization. Not working on this one? Okay, so this is a gentleman, he's actually coming today, sharing about his, but I think the connection here, we're not getting the video testimonials. So this is a huge problem, okay? You guys, do we have a lack of information going out? We've got a lack of accurate information specific for you guys. So we're getting hammered with information, okay? So, but if anyone's ever had one of these guys, okay, it becomes usually a very expensive clothes hanger for a lot of people. So, are you possibly getting some not so great information off of Google?
Yes.
Yeah. So Google can be great, and it can be horrible. Okay, so you can read one thing, it's like, oh my goodness, this is amazing, and then the next thing it says, hey, what you just read is totally wrong. Okay, so you may not be getting the right information, especially from drug companies. And that's just, it is what it is. Okay, not being proactive. I know that's not any of you wonderful people. Madam Nancy. Okay. So we do have people that tell us, hey, I'm active, I'm proactive, you know, I'm walking my dog. Okay. I'm getting my exercise in. So this may be not exactly the right type of exercise. All right, this is very key. This is why I love what we do. You've got to be proactive. Okay. So, who was this amazing guy? Mr. Jack. Okay, Jack was a mentor for a generation. An amazing, wonderful guy. He mentored literally a generation to better health. Okay, so when you look at sports teams, when you look at any successful, sports teams is the easiest thing for people to understand, but business, etc., they all had a what? They all had a coach. Right? So the Patriots had Bill Belichick. Now they also have Tom Brady, which helps. Okay, but the key to success is having a coach and a mentor. So this was Jack back in the day. Now we saying that Daryl, we need Daryl to look like Jack. Is that what we're saying? I know he already does, right? Right? Okay.
Close.
So we're not saying that. We're saying we just want you guys what? We want you healthy. Right? We want you, this is a giant key component for you guys, okay? The worse you move, okay, the worse your body moves, the faster your brain does this. Okay, so it's not just, hey, this knee is inconvenient, the shoulder is inconvenient. The worse you move, the faster your brain gets worse. And we know with Alzheimer's and dementia exploding, very important. Okay, my wonderful 86-year-old mother can do things that I can tell you pretty much anyone in this room say, hey, I can do this. She's that way for a reason because she's learned and applied things. But you guys just deserve to learn and apply. Okay, so I love how we do stem cells in our office because it just gives you guys so much value with what we do. Okay, but you want to understand some very wonderful basics first. Okay, some of you guys say, hey, I'm just too old. So this was Jack in his 90s. So again, we can take that and throw it out the window. If you're breathing, your body can get better. So that's what our job is to do, is to mentor you guys throughout the entire process. So you got to understand, okay, who's my mentor if I really want to get better? Okay, who's mentoring me to get better, and who's mentoring me to be an example for my family? Is one of the biggest. So, working in physical medicine. So my background, I do have a doctorate. Okay, I'm not a pediatrician, psychologist, endocrinologist. My doctorate is in chiropractic. Actually, in our medically integrated practice, we actually don't do any chiropractic, even though I love it. Okay, so I'm the clinic director for Kingdom Physical Medicine. We have an amazing nurse practitioner, Katie Schaefer. Dr. John Rozelle is our overseeing medical doc, which means we can incorporate really anything that we need from a functional standpoint to move the needle for you guys health-wise. So you can really be very similar to my wonderful mother. Okay, so who's my mentor? Okay, learning that, applying it. Okay, that's exactly what my mother did. That's exactly what you guys deserve to get. Okay, so what is your big why? Who depends on you? So this is a giant thing for you guys. So if Cheryl has a knee problem or a foot problem, does it only affect Cheryl?
No.
No, it affects the daughter, right? Yeah. So it affects everyone around you. So it's not just inconvenient for you, it's inconvenient. It's not inconvenient. It's, you know, for my mother at 86, I want the best for her. Yeah, that's why she gets amazing, wonderful care. We want the best for you guys. The tools on the functional side is working much better. Okay, but you've got to understand who depends on me, what's my big why. Okay, if you don't have a big why to change, you're not going to change. So, all right, Joseph is one of our patients. Okay, this wonderful guy, no, not Joseph. Okay, so another Joseph. So Joseph, if you would have met him when we met him, he told us his history. He was the picture of health. Okay. Maniac for all things health, would wake up at 5 a.m., do P90X. Anyone know P90X in here? Okay. Do P90X, super ripped, super cut, clear neurology as far as structure, wonderful nutrition. So he was known as the healthiest guy that anyone knew. So all of a sudden, in the middle of all that, his whole world of health, he said, started falling apart. So he went from crazy high energy to debilitating chronic fatigue, where he could barely get through the day. He would go home, he would get in a dark room and try and figure out what was wrong. He'd wake up one morning and he was twitching all over his body. He felt like, as he was going through his day, he said, just like a hot poker would just poke him from places all over the place. Another day he woke up and it felt like something was lodged in his brain. So what did Joseph do? So he went from the healthiest person that everyone knew to the sickest. So he was like, okay, something giant just happened. I gotta figure out what it is. So what did Joseph do? He did what everyone does. Okay, he did all the standard insurance testing that you guys do. And then all that he did standard insurance testing. He did a brain scan. Actually, he did 2 brain scans. And what did all that show? It showed that he was perfect. Medically, nothing wrong with him. If Joseph would have went to his medical doc, or a medical doctor, an endocrinologist, which he didn't, they would have said, this guy's perfect. You know, here, he's a mess. It must all be in his what? Okay. Joseph, you got fibromyalgia, you're depressed, you got chronic fatigue, here's some drugs, have a great life. Okay. And by the way, if you guys, for the wonderful ladies in here, or for anyone with a thyroid issue, which I know there's a ton of you guys in here with a thyroid issue, what do they tell you guys? The thyroid issues across the board, usually that. Okay. So that's why 90% of people with a thyroid issue usually are on an antidepressant, or they've tried to give you guys one, and they're like, I don't know, they don't know what else to do. Joseph didn't go to a medical doctor, he didn't go to an endocrinologist. What did he do? He started learning from some elite docs in functional wellness. Okay, in functional wellness land, because there's 2 routes that you guys can go. Okay, for joint issues, for functional issues at all, okay, it's drugs, surgery, or how do we actually get the underlying function better. So he started plugging in from some elite docs from around the world. The first thing that they told Joseph is that the standard insurance testing is never going to show anyone how to get better. So they did functional tests. Those functional tests did not show he was perfect. They showed he was a complete disaster of health. So they started walking him through rebuilding all of the different systems of his body, and he started getting his health back step by step. he would say that every day for most of the day, he would say, I feel like I'm going to fall over and die. So then it would go from every day to every few days to every week as he was getting better and better. Okay, and then every 3 weeks, and then every month as he was going step by step. Okay. I share that story because it's very personal, very dear to me, because Joseph, that was actually me. That was my story. So, which you probably already knew because I told you. So when I can relate to no matter what's going on with you guys, okay, know that came from the misery that I suffered through. But that's our purpose as a medically integrated practice, is to give you guys amazing, powerful tools so you can literally take back control of your health and your life, and most importantly, know why. So, as we go through this, let's talk about stem cell. Okay, so what is a giant problem that we all have on our plate is, if you look at 1700, the average life expectancy was 30 years old. 1835, 1949, now we're at 78. So the giant challenge is we're outliving our joints. So your joints stop building, they start degenerating really when you start hitting adulthood. So the solution for so many of you guys, they say, hey, we're going to do steroid shots. Okay, we're going to do the rooster. We're going to do that every 6 months. Things are going to get worse, okay, as the joint gets worse. But hey, we want to cut out some of this pain. And so many of you guys said, hey, the first one worked. Second one worked for like, I talked to at least a few of you guys. Second one worked for like that. So that's the giant challenge that we have on the plate today. So that's where we come in with stem cells. So what do they say? They say for Addie, for BR, yep. Hey, you got joint issues, here's some medication. Okay, we can give you a shot, steroid shot. So the medication, I don't have to tell any of you guys, may have some inconvenient side effects. Okay, so there was a doc, I can't claim this one. He said, you know, I'm watching these commercials, and he said it was an incontinent, you know, commercial for incontinence. And the drug that they were giving for incontinence, one of the side effects was diarrhea. Okay, so you're going from the drips to the squirts. So it's like, how is that beneficial? And then you got the side effects from the medication. So, all right. So for you guys with the joint issues, it gets to the point where they say, hey, you're going to need a joint replacement. You're going to need a knee replacement. Okay, put it off for as long as you can. You're going to need it. So there was a pastor at church probably in June, late June, and he got up and he said, in the congregation, he said, if you guys would have told me that this was going to be the first time that I would preach this whole year, I would have said you're crazy. So what happened in January, he had bilateral knee replacement. And he was sharing how brutally, ridiculously rough it was. So you don't want, and I know I talked to at least one of you guys, hey, I've already had one knee replacement, and I said, let's not do the other. So, again, some of the challenges with knee replacement, when they're giving you medication, okay, to really help put you under, they're now showing all the medications that they're using with surgery. They're now saying it's affecting brain, okay, so post-operative cognitive decline, putting that in English, what does that mean? That means it absolutely is affecting the brain function, brain memory. So anytime that you don't have to do that, that would be even better. All right, so what are our choices? Because I don't want to do knee surgery, I don't want to do knee replacement, I'm tired of the steroid shots. Steroid shots tend to tear up tissue. It's one thing that you guys don't hear a lot. So if I'm getting a steroid shot to help this knee joint and it's tearing up tissue, guess what it's doing? It's cranking you faster toward knee replacement. Amniotic tissue. Okay, so you just want to listen as you hear things. Amniotic tissue, it's dead cells. It's not considered stem cell. So it's not going to have the effects of stem cell that we're about to talk about here in a minute. So if you hear amniotic tissue, know, hey, it's not going to be the most powerful. PRP is amazing. Okay, Katie does PRP, platelet-rich plasma. Okay, Katie will take Sam's blood, spin it. Okay, it separates the plasma from the rest of the blood. The plasma is loaded with growth factors. She can inject it back into Sam's joint, elbow, knee, shoulder. Great, but it is not stem cell. Okay, she actually uses that as an option. You can get it with your stem cell shot, which actually 100% of you guys have done because we make it very easy to do. All right, so let's talk. What may be the best option. Okay, when I first heard about stem cell, somebody told me the best option is to get it from the bone. Okay, you need to drill into the hip, pull it out of the hip. Okay, they're going to clean it a little bit and inject it back in. And my vigor, my excitement for stem cell dropped through the floor. Like, I know Rick, any one of you guys will not want to come in and say, hey, drill in my hip. Okay, let's take some out. So thankfully that doc that was sharing was incorrect. So what are some of the challenges? Okay, if you're taking that stem cell out of Rick's hip and you're moving it somewhere else, it's kind of like the analogy of, hey, we're going to move this equipment in the store and we're going to move it over here. Okay, this inventory from here to here. Okay, so as you're doing that, number one, again, Jerry will not enjoy the process. It's very painful. So this is where I was getting happier as I was hearing about this. Okay, not that you guys would be in pain. Okay, but as I was uncovering the research, and by the way, if you guys know my history, I was significantly anti-anything injections because I was like, all natural. We don't need to do any needles. And I kept hearing what you guys probably have heard, miracle story after miracle story about stem cell. One in particular, a wonderful friend of mine, her sister was in a car accident, couldn't walk. She was limping, she could walk, but she was limping. She was early 40s, single. Devil got on her shoulder and said, you're single, early 40s, you're limping. What kind of man will ever want to hang out with you? And she just sunk into a massive depression. So she ended up getting stem cell, and boom, back to everything perfect again. So I kept hearing story after story like that, and I said, okay, let's actually check this out. So when they extract it from your hip, they take it out of Tom's hip, they have to clean it. Okay, per FDA regulations, it needs to be cleaned a lot, but they cap it as far as you can only clean that stem cell so much. Okay, which means that if we're investing in stem cells, we don't want a dirty stem cell. Okay, we want that to be maximum effectiveness. So, and also, as far as you, number one, the stem cell is old, but as you age, now you've got environmental toxicity, you've got cell replication as things are changing, and now you're getting defects, etc. This is one of the simplest reasons why it's not good is because it's an older stem cell. Okay, so it's an older stem cell. What is that? What's the challenge with that? Okay, they're showing across the board. I'll tell you why here. So what do we look at? Okay, we are using umbilical cord stem cells from healthy childbirth. Okay, so this wonderful child is born. Okay, they would take that umbilical cord in the past and they would just throw it out. Okay, they've now realized there is magic that God put in that umbilical cord. Okay, so they utilize those stem cell, or they take that umbilical cord, they put it through stringent testing, okay, to make sure this is, again, the highest of quality. We can actually use this sample. So that's why we use the stem cells from a newborn, okay? Newborns, the ratio of stem cells to a normal cell is crazy high, okay? As you age, guess what happens? Out of the cells, the number of stem cells do what? Okay. Okay. So they're not as many, and okay, if one of you guys cuts your knee, okay, so if Jim cuts his knee, which I know he never does, never happens. Okay.
I just did it recently.
Did you? Okay. So if Jim cuts his knee, do we notice at our age the healing is not maybe just a smidge as fast as when you were 2 years old, or 3 years old, or 4 years old? Okay. So, or a teenager for that matter. But if we want to, again, if we're investing in stem cells, we want to maximize the effectiveness of that. Boom, you look up a day or two, boom, it's completely healed, and we're hanging out for a week or two. What's doing the healing? Stem cells. So, this is what happens, this is my analogy. So, I'm hanging out with you guys, okay, or Katie is hanging out with you, and she says, Deanne, you are a candidate for stem cell. We're gonna put that in your knee. Okay? What that stem cell does, it's like Superman. So it goes in Addie's knee or her shoulder, and it says what needs to happen. This is where my mind is getting blown. Okay? It has to have the ability to be called a stem cell. It's got to be able to replicate and differentiate. Putting that in English, what does that mean? That means it's got to have the ability to get in that joint and say what needs to happen. Oh my goodness, there's no cartilage. We need cartilage. There's no ligament, build ligament. Okay, there's no tendon, build bone. And it starts building. Okay, so occasionally some of you guys would say, so does it just keep building? Your knee doesn't explode. It has the innate intelligence that God put it in there, that it's going to keep building. So what does that look like to you guys? It looks like this on a cellular level, but what does it look like to things that we can actually see day to day? Okay, this is a stem cell, this is a knee, okay, that is very close to bone on bone. So Katie, her question is, I have to have the ability to put that shot in that knee. That needle's got to be able to get in there. If it don't get in there, guess what? She's like, I can't get it in there, it ain't gonna work. Okay. Boom, they put stem cell in that knee, and guess what happens? What does the umbilical cord stem cell do? It starts building. Okay. A month later, okay, a day later, it's better than it was. A month later, it's a whole bunch better. 6 months later, it's a ton better. So this is about 6 months later. Guess what it does? It keeps building. This is years later. So this is the amazingness of stem cell that was blowing my mind. Okay, so does that mean I don't have to get a rooster injected in my knee? Okay, or steroids, which tear up tissue every 6 months as I have to deal with this. It worked a smidge that last time. How many stem cell injections do you need? One. So that is why we love stem cell. I'm going to tell you, this is absolutely, when I first started looking at it, I had so many doctors tell us, it works crazy good, it's going to work even better than you. And that's what we're seeing.
I have a question. I've
Okay,
read
so-
a lot about this.
And what's your name?
Carol.
Okay, Carol, I'm gonna take your question, if the rest of you guys can hold questions till the end, just so we can finish on time, so they don't yell.
I was just going to ask you, they have a lot of information on the degeneration of the stem cells, like in the knee, but they don't have anything that says how much the regeneration is of the knee. Why don't they?
The
tell you
degeneration
how-
of the joint or the stem cell? You talking about the joint?
Regeneration
Of the joint?
of the joint.
Yeah, and by the way, I want to be clear. We'll probably answer all of your questions, okay? if you have any questions at the end, absolutely come on up. I'll meet you up here, make sure we have any questions answered. So if I'm understanding your question correctly, why don't they talk about the regeneration of the joint? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. They talk about that all the time as far as the rebuilding of joint. Okay, so that's the only way that you can.
Measurement of it, you know what I mean? Like they can say you've degenerated this much.
There's phases of degeneration.
Right.
So when Katie's looking at your x-rays, she's looking at, is it phase 1, phase 2, phase 3? Phase 4 is really when it's fused. We used to see, she would see more phase 2 in the beginning. Now she's seeing more phase 3. So again, probably let's talk afterwards because I'm not sure I'm understanding that. So that's what happens in the joint. So again, here's another one. About 6 months later on that one. So, all right, this is Matt. Okay, so Matt, he doesn't talk very much, but sorry for my videos. So Matt, again, this is why I love doing this, because if Rick was I'm going to call him my brother. How about that? Okay, I was sitting down with a 21-year-old. I'm going to call you my sister. So if Rick was my brother, if he's going to invest in a stem cell, okay, with us, do we want to maximize that investment for Rick? You better believe. Okay, so this is an example. You guys can see it when we get in the office. Matt was 422 pounds when he met us. He was on 28 different medications. He was on oxygen 24/7, 42 years old. He was dying very quickly, all kinds of different autoimmune conditions, which I know there's a ton of you guys with autoimmune conditions in here. Did he have a good team of doctors? He did. They did their job. Okay. Katie, what's that?
They kept him killed.
No, it's, if you watch that movie Escape Fire, you would see, because we know a ton of medical docs, okay, and nurses. Okay, they know the system busted. Okay, they have the biggest heart out there. Okay, but they're stuck in a system that's broke. So they did their job with Matt. What was their job? Their job was to diagnose what's the condition, here's the medication. Okay, let's see how you do in 3 months. What did we do with Matt? We looked at Matt just like I would with my mother, okay, just like I would do with my brother, Rick over here. We've got to get this whole system functioning better. So can we agree that if Rick is getting stem cell and he's driving inflammation like crazy through nutrition, through other lifestyle factors, that's going to be a problem for Rick. Okay, so absolutely, this is why we do what we do. We support you guys with our curriculum, our education, and we walk you through the nutrition aspect of it. Matt, you can listen to it in the office. Okay, he was on oxygen 24/7. I'm amazed at how many of you guys are on a CPAP at night. Okay, after about 2 weeks, he came off his CPAP. 2 weeks, he had 10 hose on; those were gone. He lost 50 pounds the first month, so this is post 422 pounds. So minus 50, he actually lost another 50 pounds. Second month, put it in the videos, he stood up and he said, this used to be tight on me, and you can see he was super loose. So he came off of half his pain medication in a month. Why? Because we took inflammation and we dropped it through the floor. You guys have the added benefit of adding stem cell to that joint and seeing miracles happen. But we want to support you guys across the board as you're going through it. So, these are the missing pieces that we talk about. Okay, we give you guys the option with the stem cell, and this is what the husband-wife team just did in the office. Okay, they said we want to do that cellular detox with it. Okay, that's what Matt was doing. He was just finishing his first month of the cellular detox as all those different things were happening. Getting junk out of the cells. You guys tend to shrink a whole bunch. We just did a video with a thyroid, wonderful lady, and she said for the last 2 or 3 years, she said, I've tried everything to lose weight, and she said, I've lost 20 pounds the first month. She was telling Claudia at the front, and I heard her say this, that's why I grabbed the camera, I was like, it's on video. She said, it's just fallen off. She's like, I've never seen anything like it. Okay, because it's falling off healthy because she's addressing this cellular detox. Wonderful ladies, why you can't lose weight for so many of you guys is because you're toxic. So you got to address nutrition. Yes, you got to move your body, but if you can't shrink, you're toxic. We want you to have maybe a little bit less weight to support that wonderful new stem cell that you're investing in. So we go over that, you become a black belt in nutrition, just like Matt did. You'll be able to walk into a grocery store and know this food drives inflammation, this food doesn't. I know there's no one in here on blood sugar medication or heart medication, but you can move the needle very quickly with those when you start learning these tools. So we make nutrition fun, we walk you through that. Obviously the stem cell injection, okay, what we do before the stem cell injection, there's an amazing machine called PEMF, Pulsed Electromagnetic Frequency. It's a crazy, wonderful, powerful tool that's charging up the voltage of the cells. Okay, so we're charging up the voltage of the cells to make, so when you charge up the voltage, okay, inflammation drops, circulation improves, oxygen goes to the tissue. The higher the voltage, the higher, the healthier the tissue is. Again, because we want to maximize the effectiveness of that joint. There is a specific thing that we can talk about called heavy hydrogen when you get in the office. If you have a lot of this, okay, really about, it's like a 90% success rate is what they're saying for stem cells, really a little over. But if you have heavy hydrogen, odds are higher that you're not going to get as great results. Okay, so you take something specific to lower that, okay, as you're getting ready for the stem cell injection. So, and then we mentor you through the process. Katie, going to track you literally over the next 9 months to 12 months. Okay, you want to keep going to 12 months, she'll track you. Okay, she gives you some options that you can do in that time frame, okay, to support all of this. So this is our system for addressing stem cell. And again, 94% of all failures due to not having a system, not having a mentor. That's why I love doing what we're doing with stem cell, because yes, the stem cell is powerful enough, but we give you guys so much more with it. It is just an amazing tool to learn, and then you can share with your family. So, tell me I may remember, show me I will remember, involve me I will understand. So number one, you guys will know why your stem cell injection is so much more beneficial, okay, with that. But we want you to learn, just like my mother learned, okay, the nutrition, okay. You have the option of going through the detox, okay, to maximize effectiveness of everything, of all of your different systems. And you have that knowledge going forward. We give you a mountain of different ideas for nutrition to make it fun, because we want you running the show. And you can be a powerful warrior for your health. I know that's not even one of you students. Okay. So again, we tend to joke a lot at the lunches and the dinners because life should be fun, and in the office because life should be fun. If you've got a joint issue, and you've got inflammation, and you're taking a ton of medications, guess what's happening to that joint day by day? It's getting worse. So we don't want you guys going anywhere past phase 3, because when you start getting to late phase 3, that's when they're going to say, absolutely, you need the knee replacement, or it starts fusing, and Katie's going to say, I can't do it. So, all right, when you go to your medical doc, again, we want to flip it, your normal experience, okay? So when Daryl goes to his medical doc, usually this is the typical, again, an hour in the waiting room, 5 to 10 minutes with the doc. We want to flip that, okay? So you may need to spend 5 to 10 minutes in the waiting room. We try and be on time, but occasionally we can run a little bit long, okay? We spend that, we block out about an hour for each one of you guys, because I want to go deep into everything that Sam wants to see accomplished, okay, with his help. Because how can we support him with all the amazing tools that we have in the office? There's a whole bunch more that I'm not even going to talk about. You guys can see it when you get in the office. Okay, so we block out about an hour. Average healthcare visit costs about $200 to $400. It actually costs closer to $400 now. So we're blocking out that visit with you guys. Okay, what do we do in consultation? Wellness evaluation, we need to see the x-rays. Okay, Katie needs to look at them. Okay, I'm going to look at them for in the beginning. She gives me some very clear blueprints to look at. Plan of action. Okay, hey, what would be the best route for me? Okay, for all the different things that I want. Where do you want to be in 3 to 5 years? We love questions like that. We've got them on the paperwork because we want to maximize everything we do with you guys. So, total value of that is $287. So anyone that goes to a lunch and says, hey, this it's the right fit for me. Not 287, just 97. Okay, if Addie has a loved one that she says, hey, I know that I may need a little bit of help, but they're a mess, so I want them to get help as well. Okay, that's what happened with husband and wife team. 57, for them, we block out about an hour and a half for that. So usually it doesn't take that long, but we block out that time frame. So that's what we want to do, mentor you through the process. We've got other things that we can talk about in the office, and you see all the glorious equipment. Okay, but that appointment is, okay, the purpose of that visit is to see, is this a good fit, okay, to move forward with the stem cell injection. Okay, is it a good fit? Okay, so that's what the whole visit is for. Okay, so we want to sit down and see, hey, is this a good fit for you guys to be able to take the case? Is it a good fit for me to actually get the stem cell and anything else that you guys are doing in the office? So that's the purpose of that. Okay, stem cell injection. Okay, so what is the investment? Okay, by the way, I'm sure that you guys have heard the out-of-pocket craziness outside of insurance for knee replacements, for all these different things. It's ridiculously high. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, so stem cell injection, first stem cell, okay, for one joint, 10 million stem cells, 4,987. Okay, that includes the PEMF, that includes the nutrition if you want to do the detox. I think that's an additional 400, that covers the 2 months with the nutraceuticals with that. So, second joint, we do half that. Okay, so that is and again, if somebody has multiple joints, we can talk about, it's really half for the third, but I think really, thankfully we haven't seen anyone that said, hey, I need 8 different joints injected. Okay, if you have that issue, we can figure out something to make it very cost effective. Obviously, we want to change things before you get to that point. So we're going to wrap up. They're going to bring the food out. So Claudia's going to come around. She's going to get you guys situated. We can only schedule for the next week and a half. Okay, because we actually have an event. We usually have an event every week. Okay, the slots fill up very quickly. So if you want, this is a good fit for you guys with your consult. Okay, we can block it out for the next week and a half on the schedule. So if you have any other questions, let me cover what usually somebody may have a question for Claudia. I want to cover those to make it easier for her. Okay, what about insurance? Does insurance pay to get my stem cell? Straight from Medicare. Okay, I was sharing that information on the phone with somebody. If it's a chronic health condition, Medicare ain't gonna pay for it. By the way, if you guys have, I would say it's probably a high 90%. If you guys have a knee issue, majority of you guys have some peripheral neuropathy as well that we can talk about improving as well. So insurance is not going to pay for it. You got to be okay with investing in yourself. Okay. Who do we work with? We work with A students, B students. Can't work with a C student. An A student is somebody that says, this is the right approach. Okay, let's sit down, see if it's a good fit. Okay, I want to see the office. Okay, and if it's a good fit for both of us. Okay, if I've got room in the joint, okay, we go over everything. It's a good fit for both of us. Okay, let's get rocking. B student is same thing as an A student, except for they say, you know what? I know you're going over the nutrition. I may not be perfect on the nutrition, okay, but I'm committed to maximizing that. Definitely can work with them. C student is somebody we can't work with. This is somebody that says, no, I'm not really sure if I'm ready to get better. You know, I think I want to go and just kind of think about it. Okay. So we love C students, but we realize very quickly across the board, Katie realized they just don't do simple things that they need to do to get better. Okay, so we don't want to have anyone not get great results. That's a C student, we can't work with them. So please make sure that you fill out your paperwork completely. It's very thick. Okay, it's not as thick as some of the paperwork that we can give you, but it is a lot of information. Okay, if you think, hey, I'm going to get there about 5-10 minutes early and knock it out before the appointment, you'll be like, oh my goodness, this is a lot more than I was thinking. So just we do that for a reason because we want to maximize the benefit for you guys across the board. Okay, because you deserve it. So if you're investing in your health, you want to maximize that investment. So, if you have a spouse, significant other, so who here is married with their significant other? Okay. So when I'm hanging out with Tom, okay, or if Katie's hanging out with Tom, what are we talking about? We're talking about his health, his life, right? Okay. Who do you think should be at that appointment with Tom? This wonderful angel. Okay. So we're gonna go over simple things as far as, hey, looking at the X-rays, lifestyle options, as far as nutrition. You bet. You want to make sure that she's going to be supportive of every step of the way. Okay. So just make sure for scheduling, okay, that they're there. You're going to hear me say it right now. You'll hear Claudia say it as she's getting you situated. She'll call you, remind you again before your appointment, make sure that works for both of you guys. So Tom shows up with that wonderful Deanne. Claudia will just immediately reschedule him. Again, we take your health very serious. So just make sure that that's the case for you guys. Anything else? What's that? What's that? Yes, very important. What do we need at that appointment? We need your X-rays. Okay, so Katie's going to say, hey, we need to look at the X-rays to see if this is even a candidate. So please make sure you've got your X-rays. If you don't, we have an office that we work with that does knee X-rays, 2 views for $35, right? $35. If you get them for cheaper, hallelujah. Okay, most of you guys can't, but that's an option. Okay, so if you need the X-rays, get with Claudia. She'll get the information to you. Coordinate that visit. But you want to get the X-rays first, and then just bring them with you to that point. Okay. Good. Okay. So I'll be around up front. If you have any other additional questions, come on up. Food. We'll let them know. We'll let them know food will be coming out. If you got any additional questions, come on up, and I'll meet you up front. Talk to you. Okay.
Could you tell your name, too?
Yes, John, Matt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But you also only one
That's for you, and then that's for the mayor. you might want to do
I would think that successful.
They're gonna charge us $97 today instead of $1. Well, when they fix, they work. Well, you might ask for, I'm assuming, so ask.
No, I asked her.
It's not.
Are you having it done?
Well, we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Is it for you or your?
We both have Cheryl, Terry, CJ.
Yes.
CJ here. Cheryl here. Okay, you got your meal ready? Here we go.
I know we stay here, do you? Do we stay?
Sure, yes, you may. Yeah, okay, fine. We got silver,
And you can take the business here.
I prefer to be the front. If not, you prefer the 10 or the 11? 10 o'clock?
How you doing, Rick?
Been a long time.
I know. Okay. Okay. You know, I had my wife down kids. Teaching career, and when I hear a name, I usually have to look them up, and I do. Once I see their picture, then I remember.
Yeah, Brian, Lauren, and Mary.
Yeah, I wrote those down. Two of them are what? Oh, okay. Yeah, you take that. So I wrote their name down. Brandon, right here last name. N-A-C-E?
Yeah. I tell you what, though, you can watch it on TV. The Housewives of Dallas. Oh, she's one of them.
That's funny. Now, where do I find that program?
Robin.
Does this Robbie? Okay.
Come see her and
Oh, my
grandkids.
God.
I don't know, he doesn't like it. She loves it.
Susie Andrews Dawson. Susie.
She was an ex-cowboy.
Susie Garza.
Okay, okay. And she works in Westwood too? That's the neat thing about teaching is that I run into
Susie
students
Barrows.
all the time. Yeah.
Susie.
When I retire tomorrow, teaching, Continental American is what?
They were.
Then it was my farm to retire. As long as you can do the job there.
Martha's bench all over.
You get hired,
Susie
yeah.
Barrows.
So I would run into ex-students of mine. They change so much from the time they were teaching that I didn't just recognize them, yeah. Until they told me who they were, and then it's like, oh my God.
You gotta look like that guy. Good to see you.
Same here.
Still go to St. Thomas More?
I do, yeah.
I'll see you.
Yeah.
I'm good.
you.
Smells good. Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you can.
So where'd you find out? Yes, thank you. Oh, that smells so good. I bet, oh, you got those. No, yeah. I'm telling you, we have to wait. She must know. Okay. Now, I write that down, because she just sounds scary.
Ed, look for Ed. Captain Jason. Say Ed. Sissy Johnson for Mount William B. That's how you are right now.
I have it written down at home. Yeah, that's the number I gave you. And that's the one that John had. Matt, is it Maddox or Madden? Okay. When you get done, I need to ask you a question. When you're done. And yes.
I'm gonna ask myself.
Okay.
It's these long and
Do you have an address for your place?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think? That's another thing I want to ask you when you're done.
Yes.
Try this while you're waiting for your home. No, you said you don't have any.
That entrance thing. I've already done it.
Yeah. She'll get that to you. Yeah. Actually, I think she's good. So let me pull this up.
I've got still.
Let me, actually ask her to do
Aren't you? We do right after.
I can actually get you situated here.
That's our doctor. I just.
So,
Let's try that first.
Claudia, if you can walk out Wednesday the 19th at 11.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Most likely I will call you.
Okay, now how long do you have to wait for the steroids to work themselves out of the system? Usually.
Remember, I have that sheet usually the day one and I just usually eat because there's some like, I don't know where so what I can
I don't think about that too. I don't think so.
And if you can just give Carol the information,
yeah, go ahead
and I can get it from her.
It's email, so I can call you.
Okay.
That's okay, I can give you that one.
And then the other question I had is, where is your office?
Oh, wait, it's.
We're about 10 minutes away
Okay, I know where it was.
from here.
You know where that is?
Oh, okay.
We're right down the road.
What's your rate of success?
And I
We're
have
batting
this
1,000
phone.
right now.
Is it going to be
We haven't
another?
had enough.
Okay, and the name of your
Because we just do,
office is King?
I don't, again,
Kingdom.
I just don't know anyone else that's doing what we do to amplify the stem cell is crazy good by itself.
Thank you so much. Okay. Now,
We can give you all these other
suppose
tools to
somebody
make you
that's
better.
not at this thing is interested, can they just call?
Yes, so we actually have a program
Get
on
it
on Thursday. We've got crazy good equipment to help that.
Where should we talk to you or where?
What's that?
Where should we talk?
So should
Well,
we need to come to a
we'll
seminar?
just go around the office for you guys. But for anyone else that you know,
I want to say maybe.
probably would know, it's
Okay,
somewhere around.
well, she just has
It's not
Carol.
Yeah.
And she's
Okay,
like,
so let
yeah,
me get you guys something.
and, so one of the reasons I'm here is to get information from her because she does know someone who's had this procedure done and it's been very successful. So she might be interested in that. Now, is there an age limit or anything?
Yeah.
We don't have another. Yes, I can go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it's not bad, it's right off of Farmer Lane.
Yeah, Palmer, right just north of Avery.
205
Avery Ranch.
and
Oh, okay. Isn't that the one? So once you said
That's
that,
it.
it is the one to take the one.
Yeah, one is usually
Now
pretty
you
good.
need X-rays or what do you need?
It's about halfway up Farmer Lane after you turn off of 620, it's about halfway before you get to 421 on Farmer Lane, right off the Farmer Lane.
Is it 35 per leg?
It's near Brushing Creek Road. From those.
Okay, text receipt good? So is the text receipt good?
They just want to see how.
Right. You guys make sure you fill out on these.
We can do it.
And
I'm going to start to write this while we go. What is that? Kingdom of Physical and Medicine.
just make sure you fill out.
You don't go poking around and messing with
Their size, equipment that we don't have.
That's for Claudia, the one thing she.
Oh, okay.
We have to take some x-rays. But Carol said-
They all have
Jerry.
I'm here, sir. Jerry. No
This is
leave.
really good.
Jerry left, he said he needs to.
As long as it has stem cells in it.
That's right. That's the one that's sensitive. Yeah, here's yours. They.
I guess we don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we need the X-ray.
So what I can do is
He will be 90.
Very nice. Okay. Sister, real quick.
Here's the facts.
No,
So is it here? Oh, I have not checked on that.
Under your body, see if it sounds like the same thing I said here.
You guys told me
Oh, see where he's don't know anything about it. Making suggestions that you know. That you know is a good source.
in my science.
No, but you want to know the source of the
Next question.
I'm just asking what's in the law.
So here's,
They have your own source, which is your or it's undifferentiated, so you're not going to reject
Lots of things.
Yeah, somebody asked me about that.
it. Since you trust him so well. And this will make you depend on
Did you hear how much it was?
and how do you check you say if it's wrong?
Who's coming?
Yeah.
Probably just make
No,
the
I got all kinds of functions testing. So, for you,
X-rays?
she refers you to somebody that does Katie wants to see is your space in the
You gotta go to X-rays.
X-ray first.
He's ready to get rid of it, right? They come in three.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if she gets hers due to that together, I don't know why.
John, you wait too long.
John,
Did I ask what?
I was born in California. Nothing wrong with that. Or two.
Now, how long does it generally take for the steroid to work out? If you've had a steroid,
Talking about steroid or something?
no, steroids.
It's so different for each individual
Yeah,
person.
so,
It can be immediate for some people, or it can be
and how do you test it?
for the steroid shot, whether they hurt or not.
I'm sorry,
Whether they hurt,
no, I know, but do you, how do you test to see that
it's not there.
of the steroid shot, well, that's where we bring in the cellular detox. A good thing. But again, we're gonna walk you through nutrition. We'll be doing specific things. We talk about the heavy hydrogen to lower that. But yeah, the less steroid shots. Because again, it tears up tissue. But it's all they've got, so that's what we use.
she just had one?
That's why.
Yeah, Katie will go over all that with you.
Yeah, she did.
Katie, health body. Katie, the nurse practitioner.
Has this called?
That's body. Yeah. Okay, so she already got you situated for your appointment? Okay. Did you get your paperwork?
No, she's gone back to get them and
Okay.
How was your ticket?
Made the appointment.
I can make it.
That's when she was giving
We
you
used to come in and call north and south.
Yeah. No, that's a restaurant.
Yeah.
But anyhow, sometimes it's
Not anymore.
I don't want to.
They had the, across the first plane. Yeah. Yeah, we. Yeah. Garden zones across the
Oh, yeah. Out in Southwest.
This one this year already?
Oh, no, I think she,
We've got things that I didn't even talk about. You'll see. We have confidence. Yeah.
And senior discount.
Well, when you hit a senior, we'll talk about it.
Every
Did she get your paperwork for your company?
Well, I didn't, because, I didn't have the impression I have all this.
7th of September.
Why doesn't he?
They're gonna put them on board.
that's the information that, I think you have to fill that out before you get on.
You can do it in the spine. You can do it in the SI joints. What's your biggest concern? Is that low back?
We didn't make an appointment.
How long? How long ago did you do the X-ray? Do you remember?
You better not quite take it up.
What's your next date? Let's review your X-rays.
So next year, you guys want to have I'd love to hear. It's not for me, it's for my sister. She lives in Columbus, Texas, which is such a small place. They don't have a place like this. So I'm gathering information from her. And they said she's good to call it.
Yeah, so that's not.
We're encouraged. She's good because, nothing else is helping.
We're your niece.
Yeah.
And she did it in the SI.
Have you had surgery? If you can't get it, you can't get it.
Well, I got that, this is more for
This sister of mine
Let's review X-rays.
knows someone who's had this done, and it's been very successful. So she's thinking about it, but she's 89. So, I don't know if she wants to.
That's why I didn't need. See, I had a steroid shot. I can't do anything until it works out of my system.
I'm curious. He said it varies individually.
The insurance rather pay the hospital bill, all these other stuff, surgery, and yet they don't pay.
You book it?
No.
They're really there, and they got
They're
it.
not there.
Well, we're trying to figure out how does insurance make money?
You don't have a problem with that, huh?
I only have 4 years to do it. It's 78.
Well, I'm turning that in September, so I guess like my doing this.
And I'll be
You're gonna raise the average.
I get blood pressure medication for $4. They won't pay for it. They won't pay for it.
What is your reason for not paying for it?
They don't want to do it.
Yeah, but
No,
it's
it's not
not
formulary. It's not, they don't have it in their formulary, it's that you have to have it. They don't pay for it.
Nancy, would you tell me your last name again? I keep, is it, it starts with Harmon? No.
Harmon.
Say when I hear it, I know it.
The insurance is so, the insurance is so expensive every month. A lot of people don't use it at all.
Like Harmon, okay.
It was costing $600 something months for a person only. And they all use that, you know. Especially the advertising.
Yeah. You're supposed to do work entire life. Yeah.
They make a lot of money, they're just saving some money.
Yeah, but see, that's taking care of a lot more money than if we paid insurance.
People shut
Just call somebody.
It's fun. We enjoy it. We're supposed to get back in this.
Yes, we are. In my degree, college was
Obviously, it's single family.
definitely.
Single family.
That's what mine was.
Really? I'll be down.
Good old audiologist.
You're both what?
Audiologist.
Oh, I thought you said cardiologist. Now you're coming for a test.
I was thinking you were joking because when I say I'm an audiologist, a lot of people say, what?
Or where's the best deal on hearing aids?
Right.
Like in most of the countries.
Well, you need to find a good audiologist. That's
So you can't go across the way.
You can, but you get what you pay for. And 90% of it is counseling and follow-up and everything.
You can find cheap hearing aids that
Yeah.
you're not, you need to have hand holding. And the difference is, those glasses, and you get a prescription, put them on and you can see. Hearing aids, they make recommendations.
You have to find two.
Can't stand
That thing, the brain has to be like, the brain wakes things up in your brain that you have to then go back. Usually when you get a hearing aid, oh, that's too loud, and then you come back and, oh, I can't really agree with it. And it's like living by a train cut. Once you live there for a year, you don't agree with it. The brain has to adapt.
So if you don't wear it all the time,
Yeah.
your brain will not. That's the problem. People don't understand. Put it on the first take it off.
Never.
Every single day.
Are y'all still working?
No, I'm tired of do volunteer or homebound. We don't sell anything, so we're cracked.
To just give advice.
We just give advice.
I'm homebound.
What?
I'm bound to get out sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw them, we'll get them.
What? I'm asking what it wasn't my
Yeah, me too, for that spot.
memory.
No, I know, they could, not memory. I tell people I'm worried about the hereafter, and they don't go here, I just want to hereafter.
I go in the garage.
I know it, I know it.
I know where the
18, that hearing is that.
And
There's a leak out. Our kids
bottom
are.
line, that, and trying to get a good picture is that I could live right near here. I would say Kristen Armstrong.
She's an audiologist, just, but she helps me at church.
She was a student many years ago.
And she's with her.
But at least you know what's involved in it, and you can do it but once you really get it,
And she'll count for me like that. They'll want to take
Yeah, you turn down the little hill and go past your church. I had it right past the house. Yeah, they were on the other side.
Oh, yeah, I know where that is.
Yeah, but I've been considering maybe moving to something smaller. We got a great center all the road and they're not coming to see me in the
Yeah.
It's two-story, you know, so, but that's really good for my party.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, it's kind of your meter. It's on one
You can't, yeah.
You know, we need to make it.
I just,
The best analogy.
my mom was on plane, yeah. So they opened
If you walk out of the movie
I already put a deposit down for her. It's absolutely
even in the darkness.
and my gosh, it was in a office building. And it doesn't do any sound. So I want her to be in this place so that she has activities.
My sister lives in around that, and she loves us. And she,
See, why not? 73, but she acts like she's 100.
And so,
yeah, if she's not active.
I always refuse to see anyone else that have their spouse
Because
or their teenage kids.
I would love to be able to
I know that they're not
have
there is great concern, $5,000 for hearing aids, and go home and your spouse is sick, their money,
and I slept this, you up
Let me see what this
There's
is.
also a thing called speaking of
and she knows all about that, she's got that.
So,
I'm giving her my.
you hear it, but it's
They call that with listen to my.
I guess when I'm in the process of running into
Cute story about husband worried about his
When
wife
he showed
sharing.
me
Right
her, I was like, I would go. And I'm
No responsibility.
Okay, but the next one, so,
Money was.
I have your phone number, so let me put you in my contacts, and I can call you back. But it might be,
In your case, well, we had a lot.
oh, yeah, okay.
Sissy, one of our best patients. She's getting up to hearing aids. You had wonderful, everything great. I mean, it's come to, in fact, it's up to successful.